Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Valerie. So I'm back to review one of the movies on Netflix. So this time around it's not going to be one of the top 10, but it's a different kind of movie. It's a Nigerian movie actually, and then in Nigeria we have different languages. So this particular movie is a Yoruba movie. Yoruba is one of the languages in Nigeria. So the title of the movie is Anikulapo. Okay, so for those of you that are not from Nigeria and do not understand Yoruba, don't worry. Netflix is making things easier now for everyone to be able to watch all the movies on Netflix because it's been translated to other languages, it's been translated to English, and then it's been subtitled in other languages as well. So the storyline of this movie is about a young man. His name is Saro. He came from a different village called Bongo. I think I got that one right. Okay, so he traveled far. His village is far from where he went to, so he traveled far to Oyo. Okay, so when he got to Oyo, a lady picked an interest in him and then asked him about who he is and what he has come to Oyo to do, because obviously they know he's a stranger. So he told the lady that he is a businessman. He actually weaves ashofi, but if you're from Nigeria, we popularly call ashofi ashoke. So it's one of our Nigerian attire. Okay, it's one of our prestigious attire. So the Igbos, they have theirs. Okay, it's called akwacha, and then the Yoruba, theirs is called ashoke or ashofi, as it was mentioned in the movie. And then the Hausas, I'm sure they have theirs. The Idomas, they have theirs. So we have, let's not dive into all the languages in Nigeria. So let's go back to the movie. So before I go further, the director of this movie is called Kunle Afolayan. Okay, and then Saro was played by Kunle Remi. Kunle Remi is one of our very wonderful actor in Nigeria who has featured in different movies. Okay, he has featured in different movies in Nigeria. And then we also have Arolake. Okay, Arolake is Bimbo. Actually, Bimbo Ademoye played Arolake, and Arolake is the last wife of the king in the movie. Okay, so now let's go back to the story. So if you guys have not watched it, so the movie started where Saro was in the desert. Okay, so going back to the storyline again, it's about this young man called Saro. Okay, he actually was killed. All right, that's how the movie started. He was killed and tossed into the forest, because in the movie we were told that when people die in the past, they just toss them into the forest. Okay, and then if the person who died didn't actually do anything bad, didn't do anything wrong, and it's not his or her time yet, there's a dove, a bird, that comes and then awakens this person that was killed, or this person that has died. Okay, so the bird came and then woke up Saro and then asked Saro, why are you dead? Who killed you? Like okay, and then he started narrating the whole thing. So this young man came from a different village, traveled down to Oyo looking for a better market for his business, because he's a businessman. And so when he found himself in Oyo, he met a lady, and then the lady actually helped him to navigate the whole place, even though the lady had her own agenda for Saro, but she actually also helped Saro to become stabilized, you know, in the community, because he provided Saro with a temporary job to fetch him money before he can go into his business of weaving ashofi, which is ashoke. Okay, so along the line, Saro grew wings and wanted to get married to the lady, but the lady said that she's not ready to get married to him. Okay, and then along the line, Saro had a contract in the king's palace. So when he went there, the queen, the last wife of the king, saw Saro, okay, and picked interest. So she picked interest in Saro, and that night when Saro left after his business in the palace, when Saro left, the last wife, who is Arolake, followed Saro. They went into the bush and then they did their thing. And after that, they started dating. That's what I would call it. They started dating, okay? All right. So just to not give too much stories, this guy called Saro and Arolake, they decided to run away from the palace. So fast forward to the middle, Arolake and Saro found their way out of the community, out of Oyo, because they caught them. All right, they caught Saro, they beat up Saro, and then it was actually what he did that led to his death, which was the first scene of the movie, right? And so when the bird, after listening to the story, the bird said, "You don't deserve to live then, go back and be dead." But before the bird could perform whatever conjure or whatever ritual that he would have done to make Saro go back to being dead, Arolake was on the side. Arolake hits the bird with a stick, and then the bird flew away, and Arolake grabbed Saro, and then they ran away. Okay, so they made their way into a different village where Saro turned into Anikulapo, which is the giver of life. All right, so because there's this thing that fell out from the bird when the bird came to revive Saro from the dead. So that thing can actually bring back anyone to life. Okay, any dead person, that thing can actually bring the person back to life. So when they went to a different village, when Saro and Arolake went to a different village, they began to use that thing to bring people back to life, and then they gained their ground in that other community. The king, the communities, they picked interest in them, and then whoever they bring back to life, they always get something, tangible gifts, food items, name it, animals like goats that is eatable, right? They give it to them. So they had their own home, they had a lot to eat. So because a lot of things were coming out, Saro became greedy. Saro started looking elsewhere. Saro first of all got their maid pregnant and decided to marry the maid, just because Arolake couldn't have her own child. Arolake kept quiet and she was being patient. But fast forward to the end, Arolake never had her own child. She never had her own child. On the other hand, Saro went ahead and married another wife. So Saro now had 3 wives, okay? And then Saro was now becoming more greedy. Saro became more greedy and wanted to get married to the king's daughter. So that was where everything now went south, if you know what I mean. Bimbo, who is Arolake, didn't like the idea because Saro was not always there for Bimbo anymore. The other wives were always insulting Arolake, which is not really cool, okay? So Arolake decided to take laws into her hands, and Arolake threw away the ashes or whatever charm is in that calabash. It's very tiny. Threw it out and then left the empty thing for Saro, because Saro intended to perform another incantation to bring back the king's son back to life, because the king's son died. But before he could do that, he told the king that before I can resurrect your son, you have to give me your daughter's hand in marriage. The king didn't find it funny. He was really upset, but he had no choice because apparently that's the heir to his throne, his son, because he had just one son. So the king agreed, and then when it was time for Sarah to perform the whole thing, Sarah couldn't perform anything. Sarah could not resurrect the king's son, okay? And that was how they beat Sarah up. So that was how the movie ended. So moral of the story, because I have been going through Kule Aremu's handle on social media on Instagram, and then he's he's always posting things that people are saying on Twitter. So his question there, he had this question about, is Sarah the victim in Anikulapo, or is Arolake the victim? So my opinion is that Sarah is a victim, Arolake is also a victim. So I say this because Arolake is a girl that the king got married to when she was little, so she had no say about that marriage. She didn't want to marry the king, but the parents pushed and forced her into marrying the king. And then when she got married, the other wives didn't like Arolake because it seems she was the favorite amongst all the king's wives. Okay, they even tried to kill her by poisoning her in the palace, and probably that's the reason she couldn't have her own child. So she didn't find it funny. First of all, she didn't want to get married to that man because the man is way older than her, but she didn't have any choice. So in this case, Arolake didn't have a choice. She went ahead with the marriage, but she didn't like the idea. So when she found a very young guy that is available, someone that actually likes her, she decided to leave the marriage, to run away, even in the midst of all that she went through. And I'm sure she must have sensed that Sarah might not be someone that you can trust, but she still decided to go ahead with that decision. So that's why I think Arolake is a victim in that movie, okay? Sarah, on the other hand, is also a victim because when he came in, he didn't come in to come and be having any affair with anybody. He came purposely for a business. But this lady helped him navigate the community, the Oyo community, right? And then he gained his ground in that community, all right? And then he began to do the things that ordinarily maybe he wouldn't have thought of doing if he just came in and focused on starting up his business, which is to weave a show fee and then concentrate on his business. But hey, who knows? Maybe that's one side of him that nobody knew. I mean, in the movie, maybe that's one of the side that nobody knew, okay? But when it comes to the victims in this movie, these two people are victims. Some people are also saying that fear women, or fear woman. If you're not from Nigeria, I just spoke broken English, okay? It's called pidgin English. Okay, fear woman, or that you should be scared of women, that women are not to be trusted. Hey, she was a victim as well. And then some people are saying, fear man, no, men cannot be trusted. And I think I saw another tweet that said, how could Arolake give her the power to resurrect to a man? Why didn't she become Anikulapo? Why did she give that power, to a man to become that if Arolake didn't give out the charm to Sarah, maybe Sarah wouldn't have grew the wings that he grew. That's a good point, okay? But I guess she didn't want to be the man, okay? She felt like, okay, you're the boss of me, I want to be with you, I want to get married to you, so why not be the center of this? Why not be in charge of this charm that can resurrect anybody back to life. All right, so in all said and done, these two people were victims. Okay, yes, you cannot totally trust a man, and yes, you cannot totally trust a woman, but there are some men out there that you can actually trust, and that there are some women out there that you can actually trust. So this is all that I have about this movie. If you haven't watched it, sorry for a little bit of spoiler, and if you have watched it, go ahead and comment down below and tell me what you think. Tell me who you think is the victim in that movie. It's a very interesting movie, trust me. It's a very interesting movie, although it had some form of way that you could actually tell what was going to happen next. Just some little little giveaway when watching the movie, but overall the suspense in the movie is wonderful. So if you're not from Nigeria, go ahead and watch this movie. You can actually watch the movie, and I'm sure you would enjoy it. And before I sign out, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit the button and subscribe to my channel, because I will be reviewing different movies on this channel. And if you're a lover of movies, hey, then this channel is for you. So please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like my channel, because the more you like my channel, the more the channel will be exposed to more views. Okay, so like my channel, please share my videos, and then subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. See you guys on my next video.